Well, my name is Nicole Bolieaux. I'm a sophomore here at Western Kentucky University, majoring in Arabic and photojournalism, and I have a minor in religious studies, and I'm supposed to graduate in December of 2017. Well, I've always been interested in languages. I took German and Spanish in high school and middle school, but I don't really remember any of it. But when I decided that I wanted to be a journalist, I knew that I would love to study here, and then I would love to go abroad for work. And I knew that going to different countries, you'd need to obviously have a good understanding of their culture and their languages. And I read a book. It's kind of not the best story, but I read a book by Brian Steedle, who documented the genocide in Darfur and Rwanda, and it just really sparked an interest in me to cover conflict. And there's sadly going to be a lot of conflict for a long time in the Middle East. It's just kind of a big melting pot of different cultures and religions, so it's just an area that has a lot of different kinds of people that don't get along very well sometimes. So I thought that studying Arabic would be a great way to go over to the Middle East. It would help me understand people's culture more, the background of why there's conflict and different things. So that's why I decided to take Arabic. It fits perfectly with journalism. It's definitely a critical language that you need to know, especially in a world that's like becoming smaller and smaller. I applied for the critical language scholarship through the State Department, and I didn't get it last year, but I'm reapplying this year when the application comes out, so hopefully I'll be able to go to Jordan or Morocco. That's my goal. The classes themselves are very interesting. Dr. DeMeo has so much energy all the time, and he loves to get us talking with one another and communicating, and there's a great thing that we have here. We have a great population of Saudi Arabian students, so we've been able to have language partners, so we help some of them if they're not too great at English. We can help them with their English while they help us with our Arabic, and then you learn Saudi Arabian dialect too, because we learn standard Arabic, so it's kind of like the literary Arabic. You don't really speak it as much, so it's wonderful to have them here to help us with different dialects. We also were able to have a conversation class that was led by a woman named Shima, who was from Saudi Arabia, and she was a graduate student here, and she taught us every week for like 2 hours at a time, where we would sit down and just talk to a bunch of Saudi Arabian students that she got to have come, and the whole goal was just to be able to communicate fluently in Arabic, like even if it was just basic sentences, it's just to talk for the whole period. And it was just wonderful. It was very helpful, and you got to meet a bunch of people and learn about culture, and they made cakes and stuff too, so we got to be able to interact with them in that way. But Arabic and photojournalism, I think, go together incredibly well. I don't know of anyone else in my major that's doing it, but it's just wonderful to have a knowledge of another language. That way you can communicate with more people, because the whole idea of photojournalism is to tell people stories, and the best way to do that is to actually be able to communicate with them, not having to go through a translator. I'm in the 200 level classes right now, so it's like intermediate Arabic, and then I'm gonna take 300 level classes. There's like Arabic in the media, I think, is one of them, and that's where you basically get hopefully understand Arabic enough to read like Arabic media articles and news and stuff, which is perfect for journalism. So I just am really excited for that class, and then my goal is to be fluent before I graduate, and it's a difficult language, so I don't know if it'll be possible, but you definitely have all the resources here to get as far as you can. We have great professors and tons of students that are willing to help you. So we did like stories, so you have like a week to do a story, and you have to shoot stills and record audio, and you just have to find a subject person who has an interesting story, and I've made great connections that way. I've met people who then know people, and they're good contacts, and I've met people who I still keep up with. Like I did a story on a woman who had a lot of health issues, and she was an immigrant from Mexico, and her son was autistic, and she had had a series of miscarriages, and she was pregnant again, and so I keep in touch with her too now, because she was only like 2 months pregnant when I met her, so she was very concerned about like whether or not she could keep the baby or what was going on. So she's still doing good, which is great, but you make a lot of good connections with people across the community too, so I still keep in touch with my subjects. Well, we live in a global community here in Bowling Green. It's a refugee center. There's tons of international students, and it's kind of just an example of what you receive all across the world. You meet people who speak different languages than you, who come from different cultures, and so I think it's very important to understand those cultures, especially to know a little bit of like every language. That's my goal, but to be able to just communicate with those around you is such a great thing. And Arabic looks so scary. I know, it looks terrifying. When I decided I wanted to major in it, I was like, how am I going to understand this? It's like scribbles, like I don't know what this is. But it's, once you get past the alphabet, it's very simple. The grammar rules are great. I love it. It's a beautiful language, and you have great instructors here that are going to help you a lot. So we also have Arabic tutors, which are great, but we really have all the resources to succeed here, so like don't let that terrify you. You just have to push past it because it's a great language.